We're gonna say wrong shit. We don't care a bit. We're binary as fuck. We're trying to get it right. We don't wanna fight. We're binary as fuck. No need to call time out. And no need to shout. We're binary as fuck. He, she, guy, gal, dude, chick, pal. We're just binary as fuck. Thanks for downloading another episode of B.A.F. tonight. Gain of function studies? Holy shit. News to Mark, strong stream, weak stream, and the Friday 4, but our first Mandarin lesson of the day. Because we're only going to have one today.
Only one?
Yes, our Mandarin lesson of the day. Go
Mark's
ahead.
Mandarin phrase of the week. 标记一周的普通话短语。
Exactly. As Mel has stated in several episodes, 2, 3 maybe, learn Mandarin. That's about how this shit's being run, right? You know, for a while now. We're fucked. So anyway, I looked up Google Translate traditional Chinese phrase of the week because they don't offer Mandarin. But I like Mandarin. It sounds good. Sounds classy. So this week, Mi foke wuta tu shun si bao wuta chia num kung la, which means these shoes you issued me are hurting my feet. Hit it, Jason.
你发给我的这双鞋把我的脚弄疼了。
Mi fako wuta tu shun si bao wuta chia num kung la. There we go. That's this week's Mandarin.
Look at you.
Thank you. Thank you. What'd you say, Mel? What's happening,
You
man?
learn so much from this show. I don't even know why we don't have like 10,000 downloads a day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
With all that we're teaching people.
Exactly.
Because we care.
Mandarin lesson, sports knowledge, and we got my Aunt Carol wrote in another review. I told her what was up. I gave her a song and everything. So this week's Aunt Carol review will be read right now, and then we'll get into it. That sound good to you, Mel?
Calling out to Carol. She could really twist the screw. What you doing Monday? And are you back?
That is a song by Stan Ridgway. Oh, Are You Back on the Booze? We kicked that off because we didn't do it right. But anyway, Stan Ridgway, whoever the fuck that is. Actually, Mel made a good point. He thought it was Fred. What's his name? Does sound like
Fred Snyder.
Fred Snyder from B-52s. I didn't even think about it. It was just like, Stan Ridgway's a loser. And I don't know. He's probably a nice fellow. Could be dead because that was 89.
I wonder if that's like an alter ego.
It could
God,
be.
He does sound like Fred.
As I said, it's Fred Snyder's straight brother. All right. This is Aunt Carol's review of the week. I'm not a total lefty. I just lean that way. I'm a proud unaffiliated. I agree with Jason on crab picking and fast times. And this week, you both interrupted Jason way too much. You got a new aunt. How do you like that?
I like it.
You like Aunt Carol?
I didn't even notice it, though. She noticed it. I didn't notice it.
No, we never do. Your aunts notice stuff like that. So you got a new one. How about that? That's kind of cool. Whatever,
Thanks,
bud.
Carol.
Whatever. Anyway, it's
It's
mine. Leave her alone. All right. I do think the French guy probably does tune in to hear Mel's take on our nutty government. He made me feel a little better this week, but I will take the weekly Mandarin phrase to heart just in case. The only thing I learned to say when I was in Shanghai was thank you, which says, I guess that's Xie, which is Gigi. Is that Gigi?
Shishi,
Shishi?
I guess.
I hope so. What would you say as an educated man, Mel? What would you say Xie is?
Shishi.
So you just know that, right?
Yeah.
Have you actually said that to people for your job, I imagine?
People have said it to me, yes.
Listen to that.
So I was
Nobody's
correct.
ever. I only hear it in jokes.
So
He
when
actually had to
when they
use it.
hand me my rations, I can say shishi.
Yes, exactly. You see, you're learning. Okay, Mark, your Cohen impression is spot on. Thank you.
It is.
And he is right
Pretty
about
damn
all.
good.
And he's right about all of it. So what is wrong with George P. Bush? What a maroon? Because what is that from? Is that she married an axe murderer? A maroon?
Well, it's a little
is it
older
from?
than that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's back in the
What a
50s, man. That's
maroon?
before we got
Oh,
here.
okay.
Like Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, okay. I liked it though. I heard it coming from Mike Myers' face for some reason. Didn't he say it a lot? He said it on something, right? I don't know. All right. Love how Mel can take the Wuhan Lab stuff back to the French Revolution. I'm sure that impressed the hell out of Independence and Ba. Also appreciated how he saved himself with his Melissa shout out, although I am sure she is very cool in her own right. Also, Mel's song made me dance in my kitchen. How do you feel about that, Mel? Is that some kind of motive for you to keep knocking them out of the park? Apparently, with the
Just
boomer?
proof that Aunt Carol's got good taste.
That's true. I can hardly wait for the 2021 Christmas cards to come out. Love you, love the guys, and dumping popcorn is better than throwing a full bottle of water or running onto the court. Admit it, Philly fan popcorn guy wasn't the worst of the playoffs. Oh yeah, I actually have been your Aunt Carol your whole life. Funny how that works. Thank you, Aunt Carol, for another good review. Something to think about. She likes Jason more than us, Mel. I think we got that
I can feel it.
pretty straight. Exactly. So I'm sure we'll hear about
What's
that.
not like?
So what we got this week, bullshit session. I got to talk about baseball.
This is bullshit.
Thank you. And it's not, because they're talking about moving the mound back a foot, all this fucking dumb shit, and it's just spider fucking tag that they use, strongmen use to pick up Atlas rock and shit. You get 200 more rotations on the ball, 400 more rotations. It makes it that more unhittable. And that's all that's happening.
All of them are using.
Yeah, pretty much. Because you hear Garrett Cole the other night, Mel? Did you hear
No, I
that
missed
and
this.
try to answer that question? They said, do you use the spider tag or whatever it's
Oh
called?
yeah.
Oh,
That's right.
And you know what the dude did? On it might have been Dan Patrick. One of the guys pulled that old Miss Teen New Jersey thing about that stupid answer she had. Well, I think it sounded the exact same way.
So
Just a horrible.
you're thinking of Miss Teen South Carolina with the
Yes, Miss
Iraq.
Teen South. Yes. They said they wouldn't be surprised to hear her and Garrett Cole like share tips on how to give speeches and shit, because that's exactly what it sounded like. Well, I don't know how to answer that really. I think didn't he say that? I don't know how to answer that. It was like, oh, it means you do. Like all you motherfuckers, John Miley or whatever. What's the fuck's his name?
Wade Miley.
Wade Miley.
Wade Miley's throwing a no hitter. Something going on.
Because when that dude on Pat McAfee explained every 200 more rotations you get after like 2,200%, which is a good pitcher, you knock 20 points off the average, the league average, every up to 2,800 rotations. Nobody's hitting that thing, man. They're not getting that. You know, they're not going to. It's fucking nuts.
It's going to spin down right off the bat.
And they were going to move the fucking mound back a foot. And they figured it out. I guess. What do you think, Mel? Have you seen anything about this?
No, but I mean, look, here's my issue with baseball right now, which is they need to figure out what the fuck they want to be, because they change their mind every 5 minutes these days about rules and, you know, all of this other stuff, none of which, by the way, is making the game better. You know, it's a strategic game where it's move by move, and, you know, we have a short attention span society. So,
Yeah.
you know, the only thing we can figure out is, do you want to speed up the game? Do you want to juice the ball so that it's, I mean, shit, you might as well just let the guys do steroids and everything else on top of it while you're at it. Just, you know, let two jacked up guys, one on the mound and one at the batter's box, and, you know, see what happens.
At least that was fun to watch.
I mean, look,
It's
it's
interesting.
just, you just got to define what you're after here in terms of competitive athletics. I mean,
Yeah, Dan Patrick made an excellent point. I thought he said we've seen throughout history of baseball, there's always cheating. They never stop trying to get an edge, no matter what it is. And these boys are going to be stopped for a while using this shit. It's not going to go away. Everybody's going to try to get away with something.
Yeah.
This other dude said he's watched guys in the locker room like take some kind of sticky thing and melt it in Coke inside the can, then take the can to it. It's like some kind of, they make their own magic potions just to get that extra thing. It's that fucking demented. Then they found this shit, and they're gonna move the mound back a foot. That's the part that makes me nuts, because the dimensions are so perfect in this. The double plays, the triple plays, everything's so perfect in baseball. The 60 foot 6 inches is perfect. Why? We don't know, but it's fucking 61-6 is gonna make it weird, and it's because of this shit. Come on. No, it's not.
What if I
exactly that.
what if I threw out an even more radical idea that I think would make baseball better?
What?
Cut 10 fucking teams.
Yes, sir.
You
You're
want to
exactly right.
concentrate. You want to concentrate the capabilities of baseball, the number of we'll say good athletes that can play the game
It's watered down.
is
yeah.
it's watered down, and you know, if you really want to do something about it, shit, you could create a league, B league. That would be far more interesting to me. Let your team play to get up or go down, just like the Premier Soccer
Premier
League in Europe. You know, that to me is a little bit more interesting than all of this tinkering around with the field and the sudden death batter starts on or runner starts on second base bullshit they keep trying to throw out there. Like, there's just some assholes sitting in Major League Baseball coming up with these dumbass ideas, and they're literally taking all of them.
Oh, very like the extra innings rule too. That's ridiculous. I know you want to speed up the game, but you're starting a man on second base.
Yeah, no, Ghostmen.
Oh,
That was funny. McAfee, McAfee today said they were talking about shit like that. And he goes, man, when I was a kid, I used to argue that my Ghostmen were fast. They were faster than, like they could score. I was like, that is fucking, I've never heard that before.
I have.
I've
heard
never
that
heard
argument.
that joke before in my life.
It was not even a joke.
Yeah.
I've heard that argument when we were
Really?
kids.
That
Hell
is
yeah.
funny, man. Man, mine's faster.
Faster than
That was my
running.
leadoff hitter. Yeah, that is hilarious. But and then I saw a clip where an ump was clearing the base. He threw a bat and hit Abreu in his knee. 79, the power hitter with the White Sox. There was a hit, man on second, third, everybody's rounding the bases. The umpire throws the bat and it hits fucking on deck guy. And I think they overplay everything, man. I'm sorry. It hit him, but he goes down, grabs his knee, and I'm like, it wasn't like that, bro.
Wasn't like
No, he wasn't like
a swing across.
And I love the way it says it on YouTube. It looks like a hate crime happened, the way they say it on YouTube. And then you watch, it's a little young Hispanic guy that threw the bat. They make it sound like an old white curmudgeon, like turned around and like spiked him with it. Like, I was like, no way.
I love that click.
No, yeah, clickbait. We're all click masturbators. We're horrible. What else? What did you see this week that got you going there, Mel? Anything?
Basketball. Bucks Nets game last night was really good. The Bucks came out hot and then cooled right the fuck off in the second half. I mean, they just hit the ice. And, I got to love Giannis is in love with 3-point land. Like I love my wife. But I did score better. I do score better than he did last night. So, I mean, he just couldn't sink a three. He couldn't buy a three. He got one.
Stop it. And Bill Simmons and him and this dude they were talking about today, and they're so right. I got to listen to them about basketball because they are in deep. And he's like, that was the weirdest game ever because what game? Clippers only had 8 fouls. They only got fouled 8 times in that game, and then they made it very good. There was just some weird shit that in that game, and they were up 30-9 at one point. The Bucks,
Mm-hmm.
And it was like everybody in the building knew it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
It was just Milwaukee, right?
Yeah. But the other thing that Bill Simmons is adamant about, he's been saying it for years, and he's completely right. Giannis needs to be a fucking center. That's three shit. Having your 7-foot guy out there that can do whatever he wants in the paint, shooting threes. He's not Embiid. He's not any of these other fucking 7-footers. Just stop, man. He's a center. You just got to own it, and you'll be better.
So what's our series? 3-0?
Yeah, 2-1.
2-1.
2-1.
It's going to be 4-1. It'll finish 4-1. That's not losing again, man. Because Harden's not even playing. Harden didn't play last night.
No, it was
yes.
It was
I don't want him to, but
it was ladies' night at the Milwaukee area strip club, so Harden had to take a night off.
Exactly. You're exactly right. Why wouldn't you? Did you ever see him without a beard?
That's another late night monologue joke for you.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. What's that?
Monologue thing.
Oh, okay.
I like it. We'll move on. What else you got? So the Suns are up, 2-0?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they play tonight, right?
They play tonight?
Yeah, it's tonight.
I don't know. Oh, okay, good. We got Sixers Hawks on right now. But I love watching Embiid on 10. Because the few years leading up to this year, he's one of those dudes that was so good he didn't care. And now this year he's actually trying, especially in these playoffs. God damn, he's got foot for a 7'3" dude. His footwork is stupid. And I didn't see it. Somebody said it. I didn't. And then I watched again. I was like, God, they're right. But honestly, you shouldn't move like that when you're 7'3". And for some reason, the first couple years, my goodness, the Malika Andrews showed up on our ESPN channel. She's attractive. And his footwork's ridiculous. And then he pulls the three. And when he pulls the three, he's shooting 30, 40%. He is impressive, man. I think the Hawks going to win the series, though.
And how many?
Probably 7.
back and forth.
Something about them Hawks. I don't know what
Tell
it
me
is.
about this Trey Young guy.
He was the trade for Oklahoma. I think. It was a trade. It ended up being him for Luka, basically. So it's always that thing hanging over that both of them. So, but he's good and he's a good villain.
He's that player.
Yeah, it's like I don't root like I wanted the Knicks to win, but the way he was killing him was making me go, damn. Like I was appreciating how he was a killer, man. He was stone cold.
He was killing
He
the
didn't feel
fans. That's for
shit. He didn't
damn
feel-
sure.
He was, man, and then he was egging them on, man. He was doing the shushes, and when it mattered too, not when they just do it for no reason. He was doing it when it mattered, and it makes you like fucking kids, but you got him. I like him, man, because he started off slow. Everybody was like, Dallas was right about that. When they might, both of them won at this point, but they got to get Luka help. But that's what I text y'all. Did you read anything about gain of function? Should we wait for news for gain of function?
Yeah, sure. We'll wait for that.
Okay, because I kept I finally watched something about it, and I was like, man, that's fucking horrifying.
Well,
The gain of function shit.
I do want to point out that it came to me last night. Maybe I should have thought of this earlier, but I've decided that even though I want the Jazz to win against the Clippers, that their fans are too much like Duke fans.
Yes.
Dumb chants and shit, and you just want to tell them to shut the fuck up. Yeah.
It's like it's fancy white people land. Likable fancy white people land. Because Mormons out here are the nicest people on the planet. They believe in a bunch of goofy ass stupid fucking shit, and they got a goddamn castle that taxpayer dollars paid for, basically because they don't pay fucking taxes.
Didn't I hear
that you can see on 495 North? It makes my stomach turn every time.
I know the one you're talking about.
Anyway, but they are nice people out here.
Didn't I hear though that Utah as an opposing fan is one of the worst places to go watch a game?
Is it really?
Because they're assholes
Are they really?
as fans. That's what I could have swore I heard that somewhere.
No, I believe
I
it.
thought they were just a bunch of nice white people, man.
I think Westbrook had a lot of problems in Utah.
You know what? Because of that shit that Basketball pointed out about the names being stupid, Utah should be the Lakers, honestly. If you want to switch it around, perfect. Got Salt Lake. Anyway,
how spot on was that little thing in the beginning of basketball?
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Move from Minneapolis to LA where they don't have lakes, and Utah became the Jazz where they don't allow music. So true. They need to do a big. That's who would have my vote in 24 elections. Somebody's going to fix the bullshit, the stupid way the names are lined up, like when they don't make sense regionally because they move. Lakers, it sounds good, but it's stupid. Southern California's going to dry up right now. Aren't they aqueducts fucking dry from the Colorado? How they got that whole thing fucking set up.
They got
They said it's the weed farming.
Really?
There's something to it.
I can
Between
believe
Colorado and Southern California, they could be using up a lot of fucking water to keep everybody happy. Yeah, that's true. But you need water to. That's like a component of life, so you got to make a choice.
Well, you said soon you ain't gonna be able to get roofing nails, so
Yeah, that's true.
wonder what kind of effect that's going to have on.
July 15th, because nobody in this country makes it. So you got to get them all from Turkey. Like there's one place maybe, but China's not going to give us any. I learned that because of the job I have. Is that we got to know dumb shit like that. It's like, oh no. Anyway, we'll get to that in the news if you want to bring it up.
Right.
Yeah, fine. Fuck it.
News tomorrow with Mel and Jason.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Yeah, I'll enter my news tidbit I just did at work. I learned this week that we're not after July 15th. China's sending us no more roofing nails. And then I heard that from another podcast about all the punishment, like these little things they're doing are because of
Kung flu,
yeah,
stuff like that. Their
China
pride.
virus, all
Their
that
pride.
shit. Yeah, that's a state. Yeah, and it's like, God damn it.
It makes sense to
I know.
hubbub they feel about the NBA.
Yeah.
And then you got the president of the United States
You figure if
insulting you.
You figure if you got the WWF and the NWE or NWA or NBA literally transparent, just as transparent as fuck, you can't. There's no hiding what they're doing. Yeah, they could do the same thing with anything, and they're kind of down to doing it. I guess. I mean, unless these are just hot lefty talking points that we grab hold of. Because we're as bad as the right side that grab hold of their shit. So figure us up now. What are we talking about?
So a long time ago, we had this debate in the country about trade relations with China. On an annual basis, we would renew whether or not they were a most favored nation. and we changed the name to Normal Trade Relations. And in 1998, the United States decided to give them permanent normal trade relations. Now, prior to 1972, they didn't really have a trade status with the United States. And then when Nixon went to China and opened relations there, we decided we were going to give it to them, but we were going to dangle it over their heads on an annual basis. So what we did is we pulled away any leverage that we had when they were still seemingly vulnerable, because U.S. corporations wanted to move over there in droves. Now, the reason why I keep telling you all to learn Mandarin is because of this. The net result of that is that you shift a lot of manufacturing capability there. China has gradually grown their economy to the degree, and there are no private businesses there, by the way. So if you're a production facility in China, you're 51% owned by the government, and then the rest is 49%. If you're a foreign corporation and you've settled into China, you're going to deal with their vendors, but you're also going to pay exorbitant tax rates. But what the offset to that is labor costs. So they save you a lot of money when it comes to using, we'll call it marginal slave labor, to
Yeah, there's no regulations at all.
in exchange for a flat, very easy to understand tax rate. So in the subsequent time, what's happened is that they have routinely taken steps to take intellectual property away from the United States. So, if you want to know about the counterfeit golf club market or the counterfeit clothing market, those were the first places where they went. They are trying to steal technology now, basically in droves. One of the things that upset me about Trump and his stance, so to speak, against China was, his daughter has over 100 patents that are held in China. And in order to do that, that means you're basically giving all of your information to them to access and use as they see fit. Our mistake is continually trying to engage China in a way that says, hey, even though there's a bunch of other Asian nations around you or other nations out there where we can get cheap labor and not have to deal with this bullshit, we don't want to move our country. We don't want to move our plants. We don't want to change. We don't disrupt things, because China is leveraging their dollars to influence the world market. So, I wish and hope one day that instead of being tough against China, because I'm sick of hearing about how tough we are against China, every fucking president is standing up to China. Well, bullshit.
Nope.
All right. They are not a single one.
No. For how long now?
Oh God. Really since Nixon, no one's really taken a hard line against China in the way that you need to take a hard line against China. So what do? Well, there are a lot of other emerging nations out there. The thing that I think in foreign policy that we miss, and this is what really pisses me off about the isolation policies that people want to embrace now, this whole, populism thing. It sounds good. Well, we got to look out for our own country first. Well, guess what you're doing? You're whittling away your opportunities in everywhere else in the world to build the market that's going to sustain this country. So, I've always wanted to push further into South America and Central America. I've always wanted to push into Africa and expand our influence in places where right now we still can. And really, you can help develop economies of countries that could really fucking use the help, not by giving them aid and dollars and telling them, here's more money, but rather giving them jobs and opportunity and creating a middle class, which is what they need. But, what the hell do I know? So trade policy has been really defunct since probably since the Clinton administration. Bush tried in a lot of different ways because he had to balance the anti-trade sector of the Republican Party with the pro-trade side. And it sort of forced its way to a detente. You had some guys that got killed in elections because they supported a free trade agreement here and there. So all of a sudden that just got off the table. Obama couldn't have cared less. I mean, I hate to say this, and he did the Trans-Pacific Partnership, but the Trans-Pacific Partnership was really a way of establishing China as the dominant force in Asia. when it comes to manufacturing. So it was a terrible
Yeah.
agreement, and I'm glad that we're out of it. But we have to do something in place of that. You can't just be in or out of something. If your option is this agreement sucks, and it did, then your job is to then go to countries like Vietnam, to go to Thailand and Malaysia, places like that, and start developing your own manufacturing and shipping agreements with them. Or again, find another part of the world where you can build you can build it, corporate or building manufacturing capability. Because look, low-end manufacturing has left this country. It ain't coming back. And the reason for that is because we're in this pitch battle right now over the minimum wage. Our labor costs are just too high.
Mhm.
And you can't afford to buy this stuff. So I don't know. For me, we keep playing this stupid game with China. China's laughing at us the entire time. And that's why I tell everyone every week, learn Mandarin.
Seems like we're falling right into their trap.
Yes, it sounds like because we do recognize human rights, and they don't. They really don't give a fuck, man. If you're in control, you get your human rights. It's weird to watch. It's like the good guys losing this fucking battle. But you should pay people. You shouldn't enslave people, basically. But
Right.
they do, and they win, and they're going to win. And it's fucking weird. Yeah, and it's that reminds me of the documentary I watched, The House Where I Live, or I Used to Live. I forget what it's called. David Simon did it. The Wire guy. Is that the guy that did The Wire?
Yeah.
Okay. And it was telling the story of how we stopped making things in this country and we built a bunch of prisons. And if you have a bunch of prisons, it was done in like 06 maybe 11, somewhere. It was earlier this,
So it's about the prison industrial complex.
Yes, and why it exists and what it creates. And he said, and it honestly linked it to we don't make anything in this country. He said the factory towns we used to have in this country are now desolate towns with drug problems. You see them all over the place. And he said, and the interesting thing, go to a town where they shut down a prison. It's the same exact thing because everybody in the neighborhood worked in prison, just like the factory. But the story he sees is we gave up making things in this country to making criminals, because that bleeds to the street, and the problems we have with the police, over policing and being all this shit. They're not trained right. They're trained to put people in these fucking factories. If we had to replace the factories with something, replace them with prisons. So the cops act like they do now because basically they're trained to get you on the street into those prisons because they need them to exist.
Well, when prisons for profit, you have to fill them.
This goes all the way from the factories down to why that's what the story draws the picture of, sort of. And he has some kind of experiment that they did. It's very fucking interesting.
Check that out.
I'm surprised more people don't know about it, or is it too truthful? They don't, one of those.
It sounds familiar, but
Yeah, but he's in it and he gets interviewed. And
All
it's very fucking interesting. Have you heard anything about this? Like just that connection?
I mean, that's true. I mean, it's a little broader than just prisons, but prisons is, talking about the prison system is a little more emotionally wrought because you do have this law enforcement issue and you're incarcerating people. But
Yeah.
I go back to simple manufacturing. Look, for 100 years, we were a manufacturing nation.
Yeah, Made in
And-
USA was a big fucking deal.
And what happened is that you had an imbalance between the labor force and management, to the degree that you had a period of time where unionization was allowed rampantly. And look, you can believe in organized labor all you want, as long as you can admit there is corruption within. And that's the problem with every system, no matter how perfect you think it is. There are flaws to it because people are involved. But so what happens? Well, you decide to move your manufacturing base to where the labor costs are lower. Because think about it this way. We're bitching about, 15 cents more per gallon for gas and other things like that. The cost of goods matters. People care, people think about it, and they bitch about it. And so the lower you can get those products, the more people can consume them. The problem is that you can't do that within this country, because if you build it in the United States, it's going to cost more money. So when you get to where are all these factories? They're in rural parts of the country. And as these simple manufacturing facilities, textile mills down in the Southeast, rug manufacturers, you could go throughout all of that area and they blame it on NAFTA, but the fact is that it's just a natural state of things. At some point, textile manufacturing was dominated somewhere else in the world, and we stole it from them.
Mhm.
So we've always got to keep that in mind. But that you can replace those jobs, but what government's elected to do instead is build prisons and large institutional settings somewhere in rural parts of the state as a means of economic development. And I mean, when I was in South Carolina, you could go to the most rural county out there, and there was a nuclear waste storage facility in Barnwell County, and that was the biggest employer in the county. And in McCormick County, there was this state-run school for wayward children, and it was the biggest employer in the county. And then you can go to any of these places, and the biggest employer in the county is a government facility. It could be a prison, it could be a school for troubled youth, it could be a waste facility, but these are not the jobs that we want rural America to have. Okay.
Well, this whole rural county we live in, the majority of the jobs are government jobs. It's rare. You know what I mean? Most people you talk to work for a government. You know what I mean? Work for whatever it is, local government, whatever you do. Several. Think about it.
Yeah, quite a few.
I don't really think about it when they say it, but now that you just said it, I'm like, that's what we do. Because this county buys up a lot of private property. And people are starting to notice just in regular conversations. I'm like, I don't know.
Well,
So
I
what is
mean,
that? Like the bank, they bought this. You're like, what are they buying all this shit for? And then they make it a government building and people go to work there. It's interesting.
look at Talbot County. I mean, one of the biggest manufacturer employers in Talbot County was Black & Decker.
Yep.
Gone.
Go
I don't
on,
even know
Mexico.
I don't even know what they're doing with that building now.
It's a weed dispensary. Wasn't it for a minute?
No,
No, they
it's-
tried to get one
It's
there.
all kinds of different things. The sheriff department's in there now.
Really? They were
They,
See?
they've sectored it off into different.
Oh,
It's
a
a-
county building.
It's a county building.
There you go. You just said it. How about that? Is that the
Think-
slow takeover?
I don't know.
Yeah,
If I don't know if it's in the big building, but if you go by the old sign, it was just Black & Decker before.
Yeah.
Now it's got like plates, and one of them is
okay.
Talbot County Sheriff.
So they were manufacturing like toilets for battle. Like they were making stuff for the army. Oh,
Yeah.
government. Never mind. There you go.
I think that's one of the things they do there as well.
They
is
still make
government-
that.
Yeah,
Government manufacturing, army stuff, army supply, shit like that. Oh,
I think so.
so is this the thing you just clued me in? I don't think about shit. So you just made me realize this is why the crazies in my vision are waving their flags and shit, because this is the shit they fear.
It's
On a
not whether
different
they
level, you
it's
know.
not whether they fear it or not. I mean, fundamentally, what you're doing is you've driven a wedge. Cambridge is another prime example of that, right? My mother left her job at Black & Decker in Talbot County and went to work over at Nabisco in Cambridge, and my dad worked at a publishing company there, and all of that's gone now. And so as those manufacturing jobs were disappearing, Maryland's solution to this was to con the Hyatt into building a hotel in Cambridge, Maryland, where the state mental institution used to be, and say, oh, we're going to get gambling in there one day. We're going to have casinos in there one day. And all you have to do is be patient.
That's all you heard in Cambridge. The locals were buying properties and shit. Just you know what I mean? They were all waiting.
Right. So
We had one old timer tell a buddy of mine, say, these straight to Cambridge are going to be paid with gold, brother. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't care. I was young. And yeah, you're right.
are they?
That's all they
Are
dreamt
they?
about. They all dreamt. No, just bars, tattoo, government buildings.
Government buildings.
Wow.
So for me, it's problematic because it's well intentioned, but it's enslavement in one
Exactly.
way or another. All right. Either you're incarcerating people for petty infractions, silly things. Look, I think most Americans would agree. If you're a violent offender, you need to go to jail and you need to spend some time there.
Yeah.
But as most of the resources are dedicated towards traffic stops for state highway for the state police in Maryland, as they are in most states, because they don't necessarily care about law enforcement. They care about revenue generating.
Yes. When you told the story about the we need 5 cruisers that your tickets were down last year, it just gives you incentive to pull people over for petty shit. And And it goes back to that documentary I was talking about. Then you get the opportunity to figure out, oh, it sucks, man. You can lure people. I'm not saying they do it, but man, when you see the bad footage, it's always a dickhead cop. That's what Jocko said when he had his platoons, his top platoons over in Iraq, doing those neighborhoods and controlling them. You had to know the attitudes of each guy in your fucking unit. You don't let the hothead run into a situation where you don't need to be. You find the guy that can talk. And they don't do that. When he watches these films, they don't do any kind of psychological evaluation to know who should be talking and who shouldn't. And that's where they come up short. And it triggers these people. And then they end up in the prisons. That's how the kooks can be like, yeah, see, you're like, no. But yeah, I don't know. That's where it gets fucking confusing.
So, look, and I hate to break this to anybody, but, manufacturing ain't coming back the way that it was 20, 30, 40 years ago. It just
because
isn't
we
coming
believe in
back.
human rights. Isn't it just because we believe in human rights? They say the factories that thrive in this country are the ones that figure out automation. The ones that the most output we have made in America shit, but they're all automated. There's hardly any people there. A couple guys controlling the switches. That's it. And that's how this goes. And manufacturing this country comes back and you get robots doing everything.
So that's what they call high-end manufacturing. And that's, that's what you've got to differentiate between low skill, low end manufacturing, which is just straight up manufacturing, where you've got, if you worked on the tool line at Black & Decker, you had one job you did 10,000 times a day.
I put screws in the hedge trimmer, bitch. Every day, 1,500 a day. 8 screws.
I had the dream job.
What'd you do?
Material handler.
I always wanted that. You're right. When you're that age, you wanted to do it.
You wanted to be the material handler.
Just walk around, talk to you.
That's it.
What line do you work on?
Drills. 9.6 volt drills.
No shit. The walls. Yeah, well, I was over. Oh, never mind.
Anyway.
Oh, god damn.
18 years old.
They had to put that you know what? You could still smoke in there when I started.
Really?
Yeah. So, but when I was still working there, they changed the law. It must have been 92, 93 probably.
Yeah.
Because they had to put that long canopy out back. I was there to see that go up. So
I was halfway down the line delivering material when the OJ verdict came in.
No shit.
And that place went nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet it did.
Yeah. And I get it, man. And I heard that talk about like older black people nowadays when they talk about it. They said we didn't care.
No.
It was like we got
they won.
He said we finally got one.
They
said we watch these motherfuckers get their shit they get off all the time with shit. We finally got one. That's all that was. We didn't care. And I was like, good, because I was kind of the same way. Because I've always been backwards on that shit. I've always been in bizarre land on that side of everything.
Those 4 cops got off for the beating.
Yeah, they burned that motherfucker down. Anyway. And they, of course, they're DNA. Yeah, of course, OJ. And you know what? He is a monster. What he did is fucking awful. But he does have a lot of good Twitter content when Tom Segura and them talk about it. It is fucking hilarious when they actually play something because they dissect it so perfect. Tom is so perfect at doing that shit. Tom Segura.
Mm-hmm.
Just dissecting every thought and every motion. God. So anyway, well, sorry about Ron Goldman. It's a shame what happened to them. Dude, did you ever watch that cop describe what happened?
Oh yeah.
When he said, then, oh my God, that old guy that was describing how the crime scene went from a professional, and you could see it. Like the way Rogan likes to say, he was a world-class athlete. They didn't have a fucking chance. Like literally, those dudes are just born efficient. You weren't getting away from them. Oh,
he was a running back for Buffalo. He could take a beating and keep going.
A black dude in the cold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he thrived in that shit. Anyway.
So,
and then he made that statement, I'm not black, I'm OJ.
I admit it before he dies.
I'm not black, I'm OJ. And that's a real statement. And he was right. So go ahead, Mel. What were you saying?
Well, I was going to say, all right, I know you want to talk about the Wuhan flu.
Yeah.
All right. So now everybody's got this smoking gun, so to speak, about Anthony Fauci funding an organization.
It looks bad.
That funds that may or may not have funded a research capability. And here's the thing. What did I say last week? When we talk about this, this is ground zero right now for me in terms of using the 4 words that everyone should use when it comes to these types of things. So I'll repeat them. I don't fucking know.
Okay.
What, and you sent a clip about, first of all, when a comic is giving me political education about world
I
events,
understand that part, but that's all
I am
like
going to
listen
take it with a grain of salt.
that kid. But the Arab kid makes a good point, like a point that made me go, "That's interesting," because he just thinks like a dummy like me. And he said they were talking about the monkey comparison, like the AIDS monkey. It's like when AIDS came out, it was like, hey, we got AIDS because all the kooks back, they still say it was manufactured, blah blah blah. The AIDS was. He goes, and they were like, okay, whatever. But then you think about it, they linked it to a monkey, a dude fucking a monkey, and this one is a bat. You're like,
And that was more believable.
yeah, and the bat's way more believable than a monkey, but we were like, okay, that's cool. What the dude fucked a monkey? It could have gotten away. We know they engineer shit, so they engineer it for good reasons. I mean, they build viruses. They construct these viruses that they have to find cures. Then they try to find cures for it, find out how it works, and they make them. They're kind of scared. There's one right now in Australia that exists called the mouse pox. It kills the immune system of every mouse it touches so far. And I'm like, well, then seal that fucker away, man. Nothing lives through it. And they got it. They manufacture it so they can work on it, find out how to cure it. I'm like, what the fuck is that shit?
We go through a mouse pox pandemic. I'm fucking.
Well,
done.
it
I'm
won't
outta
matter.
here.
That's the Earth killer. And that's where it gets kooky. And I'm like, I see, and then is that real? I don't fucking know. But these are scientists that are talking about this shit freely, and you're like, stop it. UFOs
So-
got those fuckers just talking
I don't
about
fucking
everything.
know.
I'm gonna be like,
allow
UFOs
me
next.
allow me to start with the foundational problem of animal to human transmission that leads someone to jump to immediate disbelief. Now, we'll start with AIDS. AIDS did not come because some guy fucked a monkey. Okay.
Oh, delivery.
It,
Your delivery
it-
is super.
what it is, it was a simian born disease that was transmitted potentially through bites. And then got, it evolved into being able to be an animal to human transmission. How weird is that? There's an entire strain of viruses known as the avian flu.
Yeah.
Now, if you know your Latin, you know that
Bird
avian means bird. And that what happens is that, and birds are carriers of all kinds of ungodly diseases, but
Yeah, that's why they put arsenic in their fucking food in these chicken houses all over. Sure. That's why we get
But-
cancer with the highest cancer rate.
but sooner or later you can see a transmission occur. Now, a bat, the wet markets in Wuhan, where you gotta take the evolution of what the theory is, and that is it originated in a bat. The bat somehow attacked a pangolin. Somebody ate a pangolin. I don't know if you've ever seen a pangolin or not, but it's the ugliest fucking
Yeah.
animal you've ever seen in your life. Fun fact, there are two versions of the pangolin. One is the Asian pangolin, which is the smaller version. And then there's the African pangolin, which is even uglier and bigger. Now, is that true? I don't know. The problem is that credible science has never stepped out and said this. It's just become a crazy theory that people repeated so many times that it became the truth. Just like a guy fucking a monkey caused AIDS. Well, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
No more true.
Well,
By the way, but people believe the CIA invented AIDS too. So there you go.
Is it really?
Oh yeah.
There's no scientists in the CIA, are there? No, but then I learned about I've always known about toxoplasmosis. Is that what it is? The cat shit disease, the cat shit thing.
I have no idea.
You know what I'm talking about, Mel?
Yes.
Yeah, pregnant women can't go near if they have cats. They got to, stay away from the litter box, all that shit. And this is
It ain't the litter, it's
virus.
the cat shit.
Yeah, it is the cat shit. Yeah, because there's this virus that likes to live in a cat's gut, and you know how it got into the cat's gut, the origin of it, and I guess it still exists. Very interesting.
A monkey fucked it.
No,
You're
close, though. It does involve sex. I'm not even kidding. This virus made itself. It made rats. It would get into a rat and make it sexually charged when it would smell cat urine and fearless, so it'd go near cats. The cats kill it, get the biome or get it into its gut, and then it's there. It had to infect the rat to get to the cat. So it's like literally their dicks get hard, their balls swell up, and they're just chasing cats down fearlessly because of this fucking in the cat's pit or in the it makes the cat pit the smell of the cat piss makes it do this, and then the cat kills it, and that's how they got the fucking toxoplasmosis. That was the origin of it. That's why they're saying when you're talking about a monkey or we're talking a bat and the monkey and all that shit, and that's how that started. So maybe a fucking wet market bat does exist, because that's pretty fucking crazy too.
It's the
You know what I'm
pangolin.
saying?
Remember, it's not the bat. The
Pangolin.
bat bit the pangolin. That's the common theory.
Okay.
Now,
So if you got a pangolin biting a bat, and that sounds stupid. How that's actually, they know how that started, and that's pretty fucking crazy.
I'm going with
But-
the South Park version. That's more.
Okay. Yeah. You're probably
I
right.
can't tell you that, like I said, I don't think there are credible scientists out there advocating these points of view. This is people who read something and become a medical expert in about 2 seconds because of the internet.
Now, these are the science. They're actual science. I mean, I'll send you the info. They're on the Rogan. Just sits there and listens while they talk, and they're scientists from Stanford and all this shit. They're renowned.
Can I tell you something about science that might disillusion you a little bit?
Please tell me. I don't want to believe in anything.
For the right price, I
Okay,
could get a
Lord.
scientist to tell you anything.
That makes sense. See, there it is, bam. Just like a monkey, dude. Just like the monkey story, the bat story, everything. It's all the same way. So nobody's ever going to know anything. But now
There
with
was,
the
listen,
internet, everybody knows everything.
I sent you a video earlier this week of a doctor testifying, an actual doctor, a board certified physician.
Oh, we have a clip. You want Jason to play it?
Play the clip.
Hit it. Wrong one.
Some of the information that I think had been discussed in your podcast related to EMF frequencies,
That was a thought.
and
And it
would
was
you,
because
can you
now, because
elaborate
right
on
now
that?
we're all kind of hypothesizing. I mean, what is it that's actually being transmitted that's causing all of these things? Is it a combination of the protein, which now we're finding has a metal attached to it? I'm sure you've seen the pictures all over the internet of people who've had these shots and now they're magnetized. They can put a key on their forehead. It sticks. They can put spoons and forks all over them and they can stick.
Come on.
Because now we
man.
think that there's a metal piece to that. There's been people who've long suspected that there was some sort of an interface, yet to be defined, an interface between what's being injected in these shots and all of the 5G towers. Not proven yet.
Come
but
on,
we're trying
man.
to figure
Not
out
proven
what
yet. Not
is
proven
it
yet.
that's being transmitted to these unvaccinated people.
Go ahead, Mel. Tear apart. Or just tear humanity apart at this point.
Hear me on this. Whenever someone uses, there are pictures all over the internet to verify
know.
something, that everything they're about to say after that is going to be crazy as shit.
Yeah.
So apparently, if you've had the vaccine, you're Magneto from X-Men now. You attract metals,
only-
everything
yeah.
will stick to you.
Only
Without
if
his
you're in a
Thanos.
5G area. Now, bear in mind, it requires the 5G to trigger. Let me ask you a question. You are so convinced, if you are, I won't say you, but if an individual is so convinced that a bat couldn't bite a pangolin that then finds its way into a wet market and transmits a disease to us, how in the fuck do you believe that a vaccine is triggered by 5G to make you magnetic?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's true.
that's what's wrong with people, which is like my crazy theory doesn't make any goddamn sense. People with no science degree whatsoever are bashing a man who is a virologist who's been practicing public health for 40 fucking years. But by all fucking means, Dr. Dickhead from the internet, please tell me more about what you know. And while you're at it, tell me about how the vaccine is triggered by 5G to make me Magneto. I mean, are you out of your, people have to be out of their fucking minds to sit here and argue that this theory is crazy, but this crazy theory isn't. Up is down, down is up. That's why I say, and hear me again, the phrase that pays every time is, I don't fucking know. Because if you start repeating it, that's how you believe that a dude fucking a monkey got AIDS, or that some magic bat caused all of this. I don't fucking know. Like I said last week, the WHO, which, of course they immediately they're doing everything they can to discredit the guy who wrote the report on the Wuhan lab incident.
Yeah, where the
By the way,
people got sick and died. Yeah.
That report did not clear anybody of anything. It was inconclusive and said, we really need to study this some more.
But it's linked to the Fauci emails where he's talking about it. I think that's why they're just stamping it with.
But nobody stopped. They read the excerpts of what somebody said Fauci says. They don't need to go. They can just go read the report. The conclusion's very well. The conclusion is there. It's not a conclusion, and it's not clear because it says basically the report says exactly what I'm telling you to say. I don't fucking know, but we should look at this some more. Well,
you know what you.
Okay.
You know what you do, and that's why I need you to talk about shit, because you do what, like when your favorite guy Neil deGrasse Tyson was on your other favorite guy Rogan show. Rogan hits him with the UFO shit immediately, and Neil deGrasse Tyson does what you do to us on Friday. You know what I mean? Because he's just like, and he's like, whoa, just stop. Because he's like, yeah, but Navy people saw it, not like we do. And then he goes, just let me talk. And he's like, okay. And then he goes, look, when you're in the work that we do, sensors see these things. And you know what caused the whole Pluto stir up years ago and all this? It was a sensor error. We read sensors. Sensors don't tell the story. And that's what is seeing these things right now are sensors. You know, all this shit. And it just and it just deflates you. And you watched it happen. And I was like, that's how I feel on Friday nights. Because you heard me before we started. I was like, yeah, monkey fucking. And now I just feel, it's like, exactly, right? Calm down, motherfucker. You don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. Stop. And that's basically what he said. There's no naked eye. Like, stop. These are sensor readings.
They don't have a camera.
No. Like, until they see that, he can't give it any credit. So he doesn't know.
Here's another phrase that you can use whenever people are dispensing medical and scientific or any other sort of brilliance on you that is completely nonsense. And that is, facts don't care about your feelings.
Yeah. Your favorite guy, Ben Shapiro.
Just because you want to believe that something is true, quit looking for validation of that. What you need to do instead, what science does is it starts with a hypothesis, then it busts its ass to disprove it. Not prove it, disprove it.
Yeah. Like everything that's proven right now, they're still trying to disprove.
Exactly.
Oh. Even the thing we know most about is there's still room for error in the knowledge of it.
You can't be sure of look, there really is only one thing that I am absolutely sure of, that every person born in this country is going to die.
Yep.
That is a medical fact. It's not a theory. It's a fucking fact. Outside of that, it's the best possible information we have.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's that saying you see that people get all tough. Life isn't a promise, death is. And you're like, yeah. But then you're like, oh shit, that's true. Like you're like, yeah, but you're like, oh yes, it's horrifying. And it is. What would be better? I don't know. Would you rather the lights just go off without it coming, or
yeah, oh yeah.
Really? Like tomorrow, if they went off and you didn't see it coming, I could honestly tell people he's fine with it.
Yeah, I'm good.
If everybody was crying, I'd be like, what happened? And they're like, it's literally a fucking plane crashed on your house. You didn't feel a thing.
I don't feel a thing.
You're fine with it.
I'm good.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, what can I do? I don't want the lingering suffering death.
That's
what I don't want. Like, if I'm telling you right now, if I went to the doctor tomorrow and he's like, you got 6 months to live, I'm going on a fucking coke, heroin. I'm trying it all. I'm going out in style.
Really?
I'm going to become, oh yeah, I'm going to try it all.
Really?
Yeah. What am I going to do? Linger around and be like, and no, I'm not going out that way. I'm going to take myself out. I'm going to have fun doing it.
And you play Cypress Hills. I ain't going out like that the whole time.
No. Diagnosed me terminal. I'm not going to lay around in the bed and watch my family. No way.
God damn. I got nothing else.
Well, that's a downer.
I'll fight kicking and screaming to the grave. I'm not giving my enemies
I'm
the
saying, if I
satisfaction
got
of
a
dying
chance,
like
then I'll
that.
But if they're like, nah,
Oh, there was 10 mass shootings this week
was it really?
or last month or whatever, or in June
Not
so
this
far.
week.
Maybe in June so far. We've
Well,
had
it's only June 11th. Jeez,
Yeah,
Christ.
Y'all can do that shit right, motherfucker.
We're back to it. Summertime.
Yeah, summer. Yeah, fucking master all.
It's a hot,
Master
it's a
all
hot
hands
gun
are
summer.
out. It's hot.
God. And it just validates me. Look, the virus validated my lifestyle. See, I was right. I was way ahead of the curve. And now all the shootings, like, she told us what they
Back to wet, hot American massacres.
Goddamn right. Fuck it. We got any more news?
Yeah, I
please.
want to.
gotta
This
know
is
stuff.
this is the one that I think is important to just touch on. Doesn't have to be a long discussion, but there's been this debate going on Capitol Hill about election reform, HR1, the legislation. Of course, it gets over to the Senate. Joe Manchin's like, "Fuck this shit. I ain't voting for it."
Who is he? Who is Joe Manchin? What's he do?
Democratic
He's
senator
a-
out of West
He's
Virginia.
a Democrat.
Yeah,
He's a Democrat.
He represents a bunch of white trash that vote for
West Virginia.
bunch of Trump flag waving motherfuckers that still like.
So you have two Democratic senators right now that are the players to watch, basically. And this is, I observed this after the election. You got the 50-50 split. I said, okay, fine. Democrats think that they run the Senate, and the reality is no,
They don't.
because you've got two senators to keep an eye out for. One is Joe Manchin, who is the Democratic senator from West Virginia, former governor, now senator. The other is Kristen Sinema, who is
Love her.
an Arizona Democrat. She was the first senator to beat Martha McSally, but not the last. And she was a former House member. She was a prosecutor before that. First open bisexual in Congress.
Good for her. Sorry. What did she do again?
What I like about her is she's got a very common sense approach to things. She has been working
with it?
Well, she didn't for this one. She didn't give a shit. Her issue has been the infrastructure bill, which is the other big fight that's going on in the Senate right now. So she actually broke off with Rob Portman, who's a Republican from Ohio, and the two of them started working with a group of people to negotiate an infrastructure bill that didn't require
That sounds like good news.
You would
Sound like
think
good
so.
news, right? Yeah.
But so here's what happens, right? They work out a deal. They've got 8 senators bipartisan support, which, as you know, in Washington, D.C. means it's the kiss of death. Whenever something's bipartisan anymore, it's worthless. Because, politicians aren't there to govern. They're there to campaign. It's the perpetual life cycle of being in politics. So they come up with $1 trillion bill, no tax increases, focuses on infrastructure, and they offer it up to the White House, and Joe Biden's like, nah, it doesn't spend enough.
Oh,
Who cares if you've got the votes? It doesn't spend enough.
Okay.
And so, but let's get back to HR1, and that is because Manchin basically, and he met with a bunch of civil rights leaders, and he was like, hey, I hear you, appreciate you guys, not voting for it. So of course our democracy is slowly dying.
Yeah.
Here's what's right and here's what's wrong about that. So what's right is there is a good reason to be concerned about the next election and subsequent elections, how they're going to be executed, how the votes are going to be counted, and all sorts of other things. But what HR1 did wasn't just deal with ensuring access to votes. It dealt with any number of checklist issues that the left wanted to touch on, and includes banning dark money, which, okay, it's problematic, but that's different than focusing on democracy and actually being able to vote. They want to prohibit or put restrictions on voter ID requirements. Here's the problem with that one. 67% of Americans, not 60%, not 67% of Republicans, 67% of Americans think that some form of identification requirement when you go and vote makes a lot of sense. And so why are you fighting this battle? It's intimidation to what? I mean, this is the very same Congress
Is that one of the
60
things, honestly?
yeah,
Just have an ID. Yeah, see, I agree with that. Yeah,
which,
come on.
by the way, this is the same Congress that said, okay, we've got to have a nationwide credentialing system so that you can get on a plane or enter a building 16 years ago, which they still haven't implemented yet, and 50% of Americans have it, but that's it. But no big deal, and that's going to stop terrorism. But if you go to vote, you don't need to prove who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, do I think there's widespread voter fraud? No, I am not a conspiracy theorist. But what I think is that it's a fair question to ask somebody to actually show their identification, the very same identification they have to use to get on a fucking airplane, to walk into the Capitol, any other place out there. Well, then shit, go ahead and make them show up when they go and vote too.
Exactly.
So, but what they're not doing is, you got this legislation or this law that was passed in 1867 to sort of deal with, or 1868, that deals with how the elections are operated. And do you know, nothing in HR 1 actually goes back and says, well, wait a minute, there was a theory that said the vice president could decertify the election, or that state legislatures could decertify the election, or any number of other things could decertify the election. There's not a single attempt to clarify that law in order to make sure that people understand that the vice president just must stand up there like a dummy and bang a gavel. And that he's just a presiding officer. He's not a decision maker. He can't say, I'm not going to do this. And second to that is the idea that one House member and one senator can allow Congress to overturn the will of a state is patently absurd and needs to be addressed. And so those are real issues. Those are legitimate issues because guess what? They've already fucking happened. Okay? What dark money does to politics is onerous for sure, but it is not the same thing as directly affecting my ability, your ability, or anyone's ability to go and vote and have that vote count and have it legitimized. So that's the problem with Washington, which is, oh, we have this problem over here. Now I've got 10 other things that I want to solve while I'm doing it. And so it dies under its own weight. And instead of really reading the bill, I read the talking points and then I scream my head off, depending on what side of the team, or what side of the team, which team I'm rooting for here. Oh, democracy is going to die. You know why democracy is dying? Because your lazy asses won't learn. And I'm talking to every single fucking one of you. You need to learn. Stop listening to politicians, for Christ's sake, just because they play for your team. I call it the comedians. I call it the Deion Sanders rule. I hated Deion Sanders in football. Hated it like you wouldn't believe, until the day he signed with Washington. Yeah. And then I was like, God damn, our secondary is going to be fierce. Punt returns are going to be awesome. That motherfucker sucked ass. And career. I can tell you that this happens. It's true in politics. Your team is lying to you because they want you to be mad. They don't want you to aspire to anything. They want you to be mad. Fear and self-interest drive everything. And fear is really always a more, it's a quicker take. It's like using the dark side over and again. So stop being afraid, start paying attention. Don't take 5 minutes of a news or look at a headline and tell me you know what in the hell's going on. If you really think democracy is dying, it's because you're too lazy to be a part of it. There's my rant for the day.
That's me. And you're right, because everything I tried to bring up is exactly me doing that. I saw this thing, between my reaction videos of that girl Jay Shar and shit. I saw this headline, and it's literally, that's everybody. You're right. You're so fucking right. And I think it actually matters until I get talked to like that.
Some weeks like this week, that's all I got. That's all the time I got is to get that 5 minutes.
But if you really wanted to learn something, you watch C-SPAN, the boring shit with no commentators, just watch it. Right?
I don't know about C-SPAN. I'll usually go to like the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal,
Yeah, but they're
Something
all
like
lefty papers. They get accused
No,
of
they're
being
not
lefties.
lefty papers, though. That's
They're
really
accused
not.
of. I mean, it's just like you get tired of it. I don't look at anything.
When it comes to accuracy, I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
they're at the top.
I believe you. I do. Yeah, I know. But I don't.
I'm going to throw a crazy idea out if you guys want to hear it.
Yeah, please.
So there's a way that you can find out what any piece of legislation says.
Yeah.
So go read it yourself.
Yeah, true.
They provide you a very nice summary, by the way. You don't have to read the whole thing. You can if you want to.
Fancy language.
It's, you know what? You understand it. It's just long and tedious. You don't feel like it. That's how we're wired.
It's a summary of the bill that tells you all of the pieces of it and what it does. You can decide from there if you need more information or if you're satisfied with the information you got. If somebody tells you a bill is good or bad, I mean, look, Congress introduces 7,000 pieces of legislation in the House and, almost as many in the Senate every year. Here's what you need to know. 200 of them matter. The rest of them do not.
Yeah.
But if there's a piece of legislation out there and you sit there and start thinking critically about this, what is the problem I'm trying to solve? All right. You want to listen to me? Fine. Yeah. I have a point of view. It is an angle and it's told through the lens of mine, which is bitter indifference to the political parties at this point and the agenda that they drive, because again, I did it for 25 years. I pushed a team, I pushed a project, I did all this stuff. So, if I can atone for my sins in some way, this is how I'm doing it.
Well, you look to you. Much smarter than we are. That's why we go to you.
Yeah, that's why I need these things, man. I honestly thought I had points coming into this. And I'm just like, it's okay. And it's okay. Oh,
I'm gonna have to dig in. I'm gonna have to dig into the rat fucking, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I love the rat. I love the toxoplasmosis, man. I heard that shit. I was like, because Duncan Trussell, he goes, "Oh man, what if they did that shit for us, but it was grizzly bears, and we just chase down grizzly bears with boners and get destroyed?" And I couldn't stop laughing.
I know. It all started with Leonardo DiCaprio.
If I go into 5G and become Magneto, I'm gonna be fucking stoked.
That'd be fun. Why would you want metal shit sticking to you?
Yeah, I'm gonna have fun with that shit.
You can play Freddy Krueger all the time. You can just be Freddy.
Stick butter knives right to your fingers.
Fuck it, real knives. Steak knives.
Let's not be crazy.
You can do steak knives and go to Texas Roadhouse with steak knives hands.
And cinnamon butter. Oh,
like cinnamon butter. Cut your face all up. Strong streams, weak streams. Who wants to go first this week?
Okay.
Well, Jason, that was the core of your activity this week, so I want to hear what caught your attention.
I got to watch, and it's a great lead-in for our Friday 4. It is my strong stream this week is on CNN. It's the story of late night.
Oh, okay. I heard y'all were texting about it.
Fantastic.
Really?
Oh, I've listened to the podcast, and now I've got to actually watch. It's a little bit different from the podcast, but man, it's so good.
Really?
CNN does good documentaries about pop culture.
Yeah.
The movies one they did, then they got the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. They've done all kinds of documentaries that are really good, but this one's really good. I loved it. Did you watch all of it yet, Mel?
I've gone through 6, so I think I'm assuming that's all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did the same thing. I started burning through it this week, and it was I thought it was pretty fascinating. I don't know if I drew the right conclusions from the last one where they were talking about sort of today's talk show host or late night host.
What was your conclusion?
Which is they're doing the same thing. It's and I think it's the Jon Stewart model. Everyone's just decided to follow it, where it's infotainment, not it's news designed to entertain you and educate you, but it has a point of view, and I think people don't know that.
Right.
I mean,
like the talk show hosts back in the 80s and the 90s, they you never knew their politics. You never knew how they thought about, everything they made was a joke. You never really saw the serious side, unless something really serious in the country happened.
Right.
But these days, yes, everything's a commentary on their viewpoint or their political side of today's news.
And I mean, I think that's part of why our political conversations have descended into what they are. And it's not the absence of political discussion, but it's the ever presence of political discussion.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's diluted, just like baseball. Like you got to
Right.
pull the good from it, and there's too much to find the good anymore, or the legitimate.
How many times do you see a clip of Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon or whatever?
Tons of them.
And then the comments are, "I'll never watch that leftist. I'll never watch that."
Exactly.
Everything's so divided. Everybody's. It's confirmation bias. That's just what it is.
That's it.
And we're all guilty of it.
Yeah, of course.
I'm
That's the
not
world we live
sure.
in.
You're not. No, I mean I know I am because as you started the show, you pretty much heard it. Yo. All right.
Let's talk about
Is that both
bats
your strong
and
streams?
Anthony Fauci.
Yeah, exactly. But when you're looking
No.
at YouTube all the time, like I do, it's all it is: email Fauci, email Fauci, Fauci, email. Lab leak.
And you were talking before the show about it. I haven't read any of it. I don't know what's going on with the emails. I haven't read any.
I need to get out of YouTube. I need to limit my YouTube.
I think I'm getting to that point where I'm just done with all of this coronavirus. I'm just done with it.
All right.
Well, now that
yeah, go ahead.
Now that I'm magnetic, I mean, what else do I need to know?
Other than that, that's fucking sick. I do want that part.
Was that your strong stream, Mel, as well, Jason?
No, actually. So I'm an AMC Plus subscriber, and I've never really sort of dug into the channel. So I decided to just on a lark go through and find something to watch. And so one of the channels that's offered through there is Sundance Now. There's a series. It's a UK series. I think it was originally filmed for ITV, and then it's broadcast on Sundance Now. And the show's called Liar.
Okay. And
there's no reason that anybody listening to this show has probably heard of it, but it's got Ian Defraud. I can't pronounce his name the way I'm supposed to pronounce it, but he played Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four movie. He was King Arthur. He's a somewhat well-known author or actor, but he's the lead male character. And basically the show starts with him going on a date with a woman who happens to be the teacher or his son's teacher. He's a doctor. And without giving too much away, it's a bit of a thriller, and two seasons, 6 episodes each, and that was it. That's the thing about British television is that they have a beginning and the number of episodes, and then they're like, here, we're only going to do 3 seasons, and that's it.
Yeah.
And so that's what they did here. They wanted to have 2 seasons, so that's what they did. And it's a really good crime drama. It's got a lot of twists to it, and you're debating different points of the show all the way through it. So if you've got Sundance Now, I don't know if you do if anybody even does, but it's well worth watching. It is definitely well worth watching.
Trial. Yeah, I did the AMC Plus trial. And I did the same thing. Eventually, I did what you did, and the one thing I watched was on Sundance Now, and I can't remember what it was called. It might have been that, no. But I remember liking it, wherever the hell it was. But it was
sure wasn't
seasoned and everything.
Oh, I thought maybe it was Riviera with Julia Stiles. There's a show on there I was thinking about watching with her. It's in its 4th season.
Really? Yeah, I think I'm gonna do. I don't know. I see some. Oh, I looked at an Apple list today. There's some shit on there coming on about Ted Lasso, July 23rd, season 2.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. All right, my strong stream. I finally cracked it open on Showtime. It's called Flatbush Misdemeanors. There's 3 episodes up right now. I watched all 3 easily. And the one character, they're all good. They tell a good story. It's half-hour episodes. But the character Kareem was so entertaining. He looks just like John Amos from Good Times when he was Good Times age. Same build, face structure, but he's so goddamn funny. He is. Oh, it was just good. Just regular, just watch it if you like black humor, and actually it's just regular modern millennial humor. You know what I mean? It's their age, they're in their 30s in Brooklyn.
You said they're gonna have clips of this guy like they do Ari Gold.
They're gonna have to
on YouTube.
Everything he says is beautiful, just beautiful. It's rough. Everything's just rough. Come on now. It's like Eddie Murphy's. Oh god damn, he's one of those motherfuckers. Everything, and he's the white kid's stepfather. And the white kid needs something from him. He makes him call him dad. And it's so funny. He's like, I'm not calling you dad, Kareem. He goes, you ain't getting shit then, motherfucker. And then he has to call him dad. He's fucking crazy. Oh. Anyway, Flatbush Misdemeanors on Showtime. Another Showtime show I'm going to mention. The Shy. I've watched all 4 seasons of this. So it's up to in its 4th. And I've mentioned it before. I've enjoyed every fucking season. I never talk about it, but when it's on, I watch it. And I'm like, there's some shit that's ridiculous, of course. But overall, it's entertaining. I enjoy it.
It's kind of like The Wire, Chicago.
Yeah, but it's more family oriented. It's not law oriented. Okay, it's more about the families and shit. You know, it's just there's some politics involved. Not bad. And then I'd watch Borat's American Lockdown. You got the first episode is 37 minutes, and the last 7 episodes are 7.5 minutes. They're just showing arguing points. Basically, what I got from it, I see we're doomed. As far as turning people back to just the people that he's talking to never paid attention before. And when they did, they just got filled with shit. Yeah. They're good people. I know them, dude. You've worked with them. Still work with them. I work with them. Sure. And it's like, it just makes you mad to watch these guys just not give a fuck. And this motherfucker, because they're hard right, you know, Limbaugh, Newsmax motherfuckers. And who's their mortal enemy? Is Hillary Clinton. And in the last episode, Sacha Baron Cohen wrangled her up and she said, hey, Jim, hey, Toby, I know you hate me. And she talked directly to him about shit. Hillary fucking Clinton talked to these guys directly in a recorded video and was done. The one guy, they were just like, God, I hate that bitch. And it just went to credit, black screen. And it's like, at least go, God damn. I mean, you don't have to like her, but you can't even control, like, you still got to, like, that's kind of, I don't know, weird. Although, no, what if you were the same dude and it was Trump talking to you? You'd be the same fucking way. Fuck that dude. Yes. So never mind. I'm stupid. Yep. We're that fucked. Yeah. We're all that. Both sides are that fucked, except for the Mel side. It's a very small side, unfortunately.
Incredibly small side, I know.
It is. Because you got to sit here and watch us do this shit.
Well, like, the rest of the world already knows.
He's like, now do you know why I'm not putting my name on this fucking?
From 2016, they're like,
I know.
We're a joke.
I know. Controlled by the fucking internet.
Yep, for sure.
We are.
And there's a whole lot of hacking going on too.
Yeah. What was the last
crazy amount of hacking?
McDonald's got hacked today.
Yeah, really. These nerds. This Mr. Robot storyline was entertaining to watch, but it probably ain't no fun to live.
Probably not.
Because it's happened.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a flip phone. I'm done with it.
Yeah, might as well. Thing is, though, man.
But then I can't do DraftKings.
No, you do it from your pad at home on your Wi-Fi. You ain't got to carry the fucker around with you.
That's right. That's true.
Hey, well, how'd you do it in the 90s where the internet hit fucking big? You had your PC in a room with a desk, and you got home every day, and you ran to your slow-ass internet, and you dialed it up. So you'd have to be in the mood to download a video. You know, that kind of shit. Let's go back to that.
Yell at mom because she picked up the phone.
Yes.
Hang up the phone. I'm on the internet.
Yes. See, that's that's the last time shit was normal, man.
There you go.
Our commissioner was using the box scores from the Star Democrat, man.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Box score, Star Democrat fantasy times. That's what we need.
I would see him at his desk during the day, the next day calculating the scores out.
You got to regulate the internet. You got to make for just information, no community. You can't do this shit.
Got to break up all these tech companies. Don't let them control anything.
Well,
yeah, it's fucking nuts.
China banned Twitter.
Come on, man.
No Twitter in China.
You know what? I'm fine with it. I don't even give a fuck. I'm like, good. Who was that African country that banned Twitter and Facebook? Was it Kenya?
Or what? No, it wasn't
Nigeria.
China. It was, Nigeria.
And you know what?
That's the right.
I agreed with. Yeah. They said Donald Trump commends Nigeria, and I was like, I finally agree with Donald Trump. Good for them. They had the fucking balls to be like, fuck it, we're out, motherfucker. You're not going to destroy our fucking country. It's already a shithole. We don't need it a shithole that everybody knows it's a shithole. Fuck the internet.
But why is that a good thing? Why is banning Twitter a good thing?
Know. Just because it's made everybody stupid. It really has. All these fucking
no, it's exposed you to all the stupid people. That's the thing.
Stupid got
it hasn't made anybody dumber. It's the internet generally has, but it hasn't made. I mean, it's exposed you to the idiocy that you didn't know existed before.
You know what they got? You know what works though. Honestly, I thought this when it happened. The goddamn spell check. Back in the old MySpace days, the spell check wasn't utilized really because people weren't doing it on their phones as much. And if they really wanted to spell check on their computers, they had to right click on the red line. They didn't do it. So you knew who the fuck was smart just by reading their shit and if they could spell or not. And it was actually a good filter. And if nobody called them out, they kind of got to hide. They thought they were being smart, but we all knew they were fucking stupid. They couldn't spell. But now with spell check, there's motherfuckers I know can't spell because I've seen them right before. And then you see their fucking shit on Facebook. It's like the fucking Queen of England. Really. It's like bullshit. Spell correct is seriously. That's the trophy generation. Get in their fucking way. Can't spell, you can't spell. Sorry. You see what I'm saying, Mel? It was a good filter. So you knew. Now you just see people you think are normal and they're pretty stupid, but the spell check says otherwise. Hey. Oh, sorry, I'm yelling at the dog because of the goddamn tail beating a goddamn stool.
Can you hear the thump?
You hear a thump the whole time, Mel?
I don't.
See? These
Love
mics are good, man.
Love these mics.
Mics are good. All right. What's next? We got, oh, it's the Friday 4.
Any week streams?
Any week stream?
Oh, yeah, week streams. Oh, I do. I have one. It's, where is it? Week stream. Oh, it's, Handmaid's Tale. Episode 9. They finally get to the.
If you were going to say it, I was.
I think the finale is next week, and it's just the fucking train. She's actually free, and she's walking around Canada having a blast. But there's some PTSD going on, man. It's not easy for the old gal. They had to go see the dude that she got watched have to have sex with, so she could get pregnant. It's just a wretched tale. It needs to end. Hopefully it ends all next week, but I don't see how they're going to sew this up in that last fucking episode. So anyway.
Is there any internet, or do you avoid that when it comes to Handmaid's Tale? Like,
oh, I don't.
Season 5 coming or whatever the next season would be.
Oh yeah, I don't spoil myself.
Okay.
Shit. If it's just hops up, once the season's over, I don't care if I see that headline. Season 5 details. I don't care. But right now, I don't want to know.
You're hoping it's over next week.
It better fucking be over because I got 10 fucking week streams for next year for still doing this. All right. So we got a Friday 4. You want to hit the button?
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is only an exhibition. This is not a competition. Please, as always, ladies and gentlemen, no wagering.
This week's Friday 4 is late night talk show throughout history, however you want to judge it. Our opinions. Again, I like to state that it's just our opinions, no big deal. Where Mel likes to say, fuck that, it's a huge deal, and he's usually right.
It's a goddamn
Jason,
fact.
It's a goddamn fact. Jason leans more Mel's way, but I just like to watch a good conversation. What do you go? Who wants to go first? You, Mel, would you like to set the bar?
So the setup, though, I want to just make it clear, even though Jason and I watched the late night documentary on CNN,
and I got a string of these things going right now. Go ahead.
This was your idea, and neither one of us told you we were watching it.
No.
So
sitting there thinking of shit.
I think we're becoming dangerously in tune with each other to a point where I'm getting freaked out.
Yeah, your wavelength. I can tell you all are watching the same thing. And I was like, no, I don't even know why. I might have saw a commercial for what the fuck y'all are watching or something. I don't watch it. What the fuck am I talking about? I don't even know what a commercial is anymore unless I'm watching sports. And they're all mute.
I'm actually mad I didn't come up with it because as much as I love late night talk shows,
I got introduced to it like in my freshman. First year I really watched late night TV was probably freshman summer. Between freshman and sophomore that summer was when I really watched it. So that's the year you realize you're not doing anything like your friends, so you find reasons to stay so you watch late night. And I was recording these, setting my timer on the VCR to record it while I was at school. Once I started going to school, I recorded the fuckers and watched them when I got home.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible. I got out of it, but I did it for a while. I watched it. Anyway. And the one I recorded was my number 2, of course. But anyway, where do you want to start, Mel?
Number 4.
At the bar.
That's where I want to start.
All right, do it.
Conan O'Brien.
Also my number 4.
You know, he's very creative. I think he's good. I do think he got shit on when he got the Tonight Show for 5 minutes and then basically Jay Leno sort of campaigned around keeping his job, and so Conan had to
Horrible thing
go.
watch. Yeah, and then Conan didn't have a fucking lead in. He had the Leno show at 10 o'clock every night, where Leno got ratings gainers like Law and Order and all those high rated shows.
Right.
Conan got the failed Leno show 10 o'clock lead in. It didn't fucking help him at all. He didn't get any fucking top 10 pop culture shows leading in there.
Nope.
No. Sorry. Conan's my
And I
number
mean,
one. Fuck
and
those
Leno,
motherfuckers.
what was number one?
My Conan's my number one. He has
Oh,
entertained me
really?
most. This is me. Yeah, he entertains me, man. More than any of I like the other ones, but man, Conan, that's my motherfucker. He makes me fucking legitimately laugh.
Makes me laugh.
Walker Texas Ranger. He just has original shit, man. Like I think it's originality.
Okay.
Yeah, because his bits are completely fucking stupid and original. His Men on the Street shit is very impressive. Now, as a talk show host, like as far as cookie cutter talk show host, nah, probably not. I think that's why I like. But anyway,
So
go ahead, fucking.
that was
bastard.
my reason for not making him higher ranked, was because he's funny and he genuinely
Writer funny.
He's writer funny, and he's very good at you know, when he moved to TBS, one of the things I'll give him credit for is he explored and pushed, you know, next day video, right? You know, this clip
Yeah.
from the show got buzzed, you know, overnight and the next day, and it became one of those things you had to go see. What did he do last night? And so, I mean, I definitely think he's got some innovative stuff, but just as a well-rounded talk show, you know, late night talk show host, the ability to interview, I felt like was just as important as being funny.
You're right. I
And
did think about that. He's not good at it
so that was what held me back.
because his interviews are more based on what jokes can he make, more than
Right.
just get to know shit. And when he does get to know shit, it's all right. But me being a Conan guy, I'd rather watch him. He lightly busts balls. It's usually busting his own balls, but you know.
He's either very self-deprecating or he's very plays the arrogant card. You know, not
He's
really being
perfect.
arrogant.
He overdoes them both. Right. And his middle is him, but who gets and he knows that nobody wants to see that shit.
I like Conan.
And but you fuck sticks made it fucking number 4, so that's great. Way to shit all over me right off the bat.
Reverse
on.
list. You got a reverse list again. What
Yeah.
can we tell you?
I know. No. Okay, yeah, I'll know that by the way. You want
Depends
me
on
to
what
go?
his
Oh,
number
yeah, it's my turn.
Depends on
Yeah,
what your
it's
number four is.
All right, it's Jay Leno. I'll just give him that for respect.
Are
I
you
don't like
fucking
motherfuckers.
shitting me?
I didn't know, honestly, at number 4, I didn't know who to throw in there. I wasn't going to do Arsenio. I figured y'all were racist, so I didn't want to say that. Sounds good. No, I just threw Leno in there because I was like, I guess you got to throw Leno in the list somewhere. I guess it would be 4.
Where? What? I'm wondering why Mel's shaking his head.
Yeah, do you hate Jay Leno?
I don't know. He's not on my top 4. I don't even know
No, not
if I
mine
would put
either.
him in
Okay.
my top 8.
I don't
Okay,
think
yeah,
no.
I don't know. I never watched it. I really never
I
watched
think if you made a list of talk show hosts,
Yeah.
he would be very near the bottom of mine.
Okay. You made a ton of those. Yeah.
Horrible interviewer.
It was, that's exactly it, which is his follow-ups didn't matter. The show was overproduced. They, you know, basically all the Q&A sort of came up in the pre-production, and then you would script out what the interview was going to be. So there weren't a lot of organic moments there, and good shows like this have moments where, and I'll talk about this in a little bit when I get to especially my top 2, these organic moments where they show you their strength. Leno,
Yeah.
he needed a monologue, and you know, even that was written shit for him. So he was just good at delivering it, I guess. Maybe
That's what it was too. You know what and that's what I think his story is. He hated doing it. The paycheck was so undeniable. And when you're a comic in the era he was, which he's regarded as one of the greatest comics ever by a lot of working comics.
People.
He
Absolutely.
said comedian wise, and I've never seen his act. I don't give a fuck. But when that paycheck comes at that era, you take. So he did it, and he was miserable. He was ultimately miserable, but he took the money. It was network money. It was a steady spot, whatever. And they were like, and they said you could tell by the way he did it. That's why I put him 4, because I know who the fuck else. I don't know anything. Y'all
Right.
just watch a documentary.
I had my list before the documentary.
Of course you did. You had it since you were 12. You fucking weirdo.
All right. It's Mel's number 3.
All right, good.
So just real quick, one last thing about Leno. I think I do hate the fact that he knowingly agreed to step aside for Conan.
Yeah.
And then he reneged on the
Sabotage.
deal.
He basically sabotaged. Yeah. Then he took it back from him, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he take it back?
Well, what they wanted to do is they wanted to move the Jay Leno show from 10 to 11:35 and push the Tonight Show back to 12:05.
Which was just
and then he's like, it's not the Tonight Show anymore. It's tomorrow's show.
Yeah.
The Tonight Show starts at 11:35.
Since forever.
And he wouldn't agree to do it, so he left.
So he
and
just
Leno gets
he
the Tonight
pieced
Show
out.
back.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame him. Conan, the thing is, Conan's the smartest guy in that room.
You know
Conan,
why?
As far as just why?
Because he got paid a shit ton of money to walk away.
Exactly. No, he's
30
doing
mil.
what he's doing what
Yeah.
he wants, man. And his projects never just.
I'm curious to see what he does on HBO Max.
I love it. He's so his self-deprecating humor, some of the best ever.
Yeah, for sure.
God, I love it.
Like you putting him at 1 with your sensibilities, I totally get it. I'm not
Yeah.
even going to be. You can call me a fuck stick all you want for putting him at 4.
Hey, I got to create some kind of static.
You're a
You guys
bad
been
heel,
making out
Mark.
since-
You're a bad heel.
Yeah. You guys been making out. You two been making out since the beginning, since you watched your fucking documentary. You're sitting here like an asshole watching reaction videos, watching English guys watch shit.
Well, now I'll piss you guys off.
If we do
Here
top
it
4
comes.
reaction group, I'm fucking winning that.
Here
one.
he comes. He's going to hit my number 1. I know it.
No, I doubt
get,
it.
what's my number 3? Oh, it's
No,
Mel's.
I go first.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, we're still making fun of me for being stupid. Go ahead.
Number 3, Arsenio Hall.
That's
Yeah,
not a bad
all
pick.
right.
No, that's not my number 1.
I wanted to do
By
that
far.
before, but I didn't know.
Arsenio's an honorable mention.
I used to actually watch Arsenio, but I put Jay Leno's mine never watched.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
watched Arsenio too. I mean, give the guy credit. I mean, you know,
He beat
he did
Carson,
something. He did.
He
Yeah,
took
he
the
did
young
something.
crowd.
Yeah, he did something really different. You know, it was a good show. It was very. It was much more relatable because, and granted, I was young when I was in my 20s when this show started, or late teens, and so it was all the hippest acts, but it did something that a lot of these other shows couldn't do, and that was if you wanted to see the cooler shit on late night,
Yeah.
you had to wait for the
You're right.
12:30 show.
Yeah.
And he actually put it on at 11 o'clock at night. And I mean, they pointed it out in the documentary, but I would have said it anyway. I mean, one of the most iconic late night moments is Bill Clinton playing the
Bill
saxophone.
Clinton playing the sax, and that galvanized Arsenio as legit. You know what I mean?
That swung the young voters, Bill Clinton.
It did. That was a cool moment.
Honorable mention.
And
Can't be mad at
of
it.
course, a fucking pussy magnet like him knows how to play the sax just on a minute's notice. If you're going to be a coxman like him, you can grab an instrument and play it, not just your skin suit. You know what I'm saying?
Remember, before he was a coxman, he was a chubby band kid.
Exactly. That's the chubby band kid is the one that shook JFK's hand at that fucking boys' school or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Man, can you imagine? You think that creep power was just oozed in their handshake like a movie moment? That's when JFK gave him all that creepy shit, where he just becomes a womanized fucking douchebag, but decent president. All right, my third.
I'm gonna be
one was
shot.
Johnny
I need you to
Carson.
shake my hand.
Huh?
I turned.
Whatever. Go ahead. We didn't get the last time because I don't know what the fuck happened. You want me to just do 3?
Yeah, go ahead.
You didn't. Nobody got to do 3 last time. How about that? Oh, let me just do it. It's Johnny Carson is my number 3. And I watched it when I was a kid. I just didn't care. I watched it to get the Letterman. It was all right.
Hey.
And I watched the last one. I recorded it. Like, I liked it. I mean, it was fine. I just didn't give a fuck. It was like saying Buddy Holly is like your favorite rock and roll guy. We're like, we know, but whatever.
How can you disrespect the late night talk show host?
Who? Johnny
Carson.
Carson? Because I grew up on Stern and Howard Stern hated it. And I heard so much of that. I was like, yeah, fuck him. So I don't hate him like Howard Stern did. Howard loved everybody. But I used to hear him destroy him all the time, so I just never really cared. So
All
I
right.
gave him number 3 just because I did watch him.
Johnny's my number 1.
Yeah, I figured.
He was my number 2.
All right.
And the scene they played out with the axe throwing bit that he did.
Holy shit.
It's really funny. So you got this guy who was on TV. He was doing this axe throwing competition or demonstration for Carson. And the first axe he throws, he's like throwing it at this piece of wood with an outlined man figure. And the first axe he throws like goes right into the guy's dick. And the guy
sticking out.
Yeah. And the guy freaked out like, oh shit, I'm on television. We got to fix this. And he goes for it. And Johnny grabs his arm and holds him. And he literally in that moment lets the audience just soak it in. He doesn't say anything. They're just both standing there and the audience is losing their shit.
That's the old days too. Oh my God.
It's in black and white.
Yeah. No shit. That's good.
And then,
if it's not for Johnny Carson, you don't have David Letterman.
Yeah.
You don't have any of them.
It's not for Buddy Holly. You don't have to beat it. I don't give a fuck.
He's the king of late night for a reason.
I think people do Buddy Holly.
And being the weirdo that you say I am, I can remember being 7 years old, staying up, watching Johnny Carson.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about what you said. Like I like this kid doing a Lucas right now. But it's not gonna make me go. But don't forget about Cool Mo D. Fuck it. Like whatever. That's how it feels.
Carson's number 1.
Like
that's like your opinion, man.
There's like a 2.5-hour documentary on Johnny Carson.
You know, I could watch.
Oh, I can watch it over and over and over. What?
I'm gonna watch Andre Giant. That's good. That is good. Fucking drink. Anyway, so good John.
Yeah.
What kind of?
They said he's a chain smoking motherfucker too.
Died of emphysema.
Did he really? Good for him. That's
yeah, he did.
What you got?
Kind of,
number 3 there, Jay?
What kind of weed you smoking?
I don't know.
My number 3 is Jon Stewart.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Jon Stewart.
No comment.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I got nothing bad to say about the man.
Not really a talk show host. He had the guests.
I wish I'd have put him. I'm mad that he's number 4 instead of Jay Leno. Go ahead.
That was my text the other night because I was like, not really a late night talk show host, but I got the okay.
No, he fits. It fits.
The Daily Show is revolutionary when it comes to political commentary.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
who's the one that fucked up? Kilborn? No.
Kilborn had it first.
Then he thought he was gonna be an actor and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Now, who's the other guy? Wasn't there another guy that became a big actor?
No, Kilborn, then
Jon Stewart got it.
And then Jon Stewart got it.
Now, who was the other? Wasn't there another guy that was an actor? He was in that. What movie? He was a movie. Ended up being a movie star. Wasn't he the host before Kilborn?
I don't think so.
Or was there somebody between Kilborn and Jon Stewart? Blonde dude. He was in a Jack Nicholson movie. Maybe he played a gay guy.
Yeah, that's Talk Soup.
You're thinking of you're thinking of
right.
Talk
right.
Soup.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Greg Kinnear.
Yes, I knew it was one of those damn shows. Yeah, Greg Kinnear. He started something stupid. All right.
What were we talking about? Oh, Jon Stewart.
Yeah, Jon Stewart. He's just a smart dude, man. John Leibowitz.
I think sometimes I agree with him. I like what he's doing. I think it's funny and entertaining. And then there are other times when I don't know, it's sanctimonious for the sake of being sanctimonious. And it takes me out of it. I think
there's times he does the Chicago versus New York pizza and goes off on one of those kind of rants. And it's just
funny,
fucking funny.
He's a naturally funny dude too.
I always thought Colbert was more even as the not Stephen Colbert, the CBS, late show.
The Colbert Report,
not the left.
Colbert,
right.
The right.
When he was doing the parody right wing stuff. I mean that had layers of funny to it that I thought were really good. That's maybe it just appealed to my sensibilities a little bit better, but some stuff with Jon Stewart, it was just like, all right, I got it. All right, I got it. Jesus Christ, I got it.
True. I like the parody side of it because Jon Stewart does try to get under your skin with shit all the time. You're like, all right, let me calm down, but I do like him. I do wish I'd have made him number 4 though. Bitch.
That would have been better than Jay Leno.
I know. I don't even like him, but I do like the fact that he admitted that he hated the fucking job. He just took the studio money and rolled because he likes his cars, you know.
I mean, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. If you'd thrown that kind of money at me, I'd have hosted that fucking show forever too.
Yeah, he was on the road. He had been on the road for 20 years. He's like, fuck this. I'll take all that goddamn money. What you got number? You got number? What are we on? 2 or 3?
It's your 2.
My 2. My 2 is David Letterman.
The fuck?
He's my number 2 as well.
Because I put Conan first. They were interchangeable, but I could have went either one.
But I finally nailed.
Hold on now.
Letterman.
What I tell you was number
but
1.
But Letterman does have iconic moments, though.
Absolutely. I had it that your number 1 would be David Letterman.
Well, you are correct, sir.
And that clip.
And I can't be absolutely. This is a love fest this week. I can't be mad about it.
Fuckers. That clip I sent you of that kid that wrote Kids.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I saw Kids when it came out. I remember it was a fucking weird ass movie, and I heard of the other ones. I never watched them because I was like, I ain't want gummo. I remember hearing somebody said, you gotta see that, and I was like, no. But then I see this later, like of course, like 6 months ago, and I was reminded of it. And this kid, Harmony Korine on Letterman, was so goddamn odd but interesting all at the same time. Where just for James Franco to just want to be friends with him, that's how strange he was. This kid was
He's a weird one.
He was going through Meryl Streep's bag and back.
Well, and of course that was, you know, and I was like, because I didn't recognize the name to the point that I realized that he had done Spring Breakers too.
Yeah, that's the other legit one he did. Like, how did this kid get these opportunities, man?
But what but I thought that video demonstrated why I think Letterman is the best.
He is.
Because, you know, here you take this kid that's having these completely just weird stream of consciousness moments, and Letterman actually makes that interview. He carries that interview all the way to the end. And as weird as it all is, he never misses a beat. He's still funny through the entire interview.
And that's the comedian in Letterman. That's
exactly
the comedy store. That's the comedy store in there to be able to just roll with anybody. God damn it, how did I not say? I sat there and went, Conan Letterman, Conan Letterman. You do like Conan. You watch a lot of Conan clips, but Letterman's a fucking bad motherfucker.
I sat there and did the same thing with Johnny and Letterman, but it came down to
it was like who created it all. He did.
What he created is still the standard today.
Yeah, he's the Godfather, man. You can't fuck with that.
The format he came up with still lives.
Right.
The ones all before him were just kind of whatever. They did whatever they want, but Johnny said it straight.
And at the same time, when he was sitting at the desk and he had an oddball on, he knew how to play.
He could handle it.
He could handle anybody.
And Letterman's the king of it. Like, he learned from his fucking teacher.
Yep.
Because he was a bad motherfucker.
But Letterman brought it into our generation.
How good was Joan Rivers?
I was never a Joan Rivers fan.
Okay. I liked her being real.
Stern.
Being real, yeah. Her prepared material.
No. But there's a big hoopla right now that her daughter's mad because she's saying that the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is Joan Rivers' lunch.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so?
Who knows?
We don't know. I don't know. How about this? I don't.
I don't fucking know.
I don't fucking know.
Okay. That felt good. I've never done that before.
Nice title.
Yeah. Did you hear about Marvelous Mrs. Maisel being stolen? I don't know. Fuck off. I don't fucking know. I'm gonna start doing that. I don't know.
What do you think? I don't fucking know.
God damn it. That's the best bumper sticker right now. I want 2 bumper stickers. One that says, I don't fucking know, term. I want each one. Let's do it. No, with all this hubbub and all the problems and all the strife, nobody talks about the necessity of term limits all down the board.
With the B.A.F. logo right at the bottom.
Because the dude said it the other day I was listening to, these guys are just they're protecting their political careers. And I'm like, that's the problem.
Exactly.
2 sane people were having this. Well, these guys are just trying to protect their careers. And I was like, stop it with the fucking career. Either go up or go home. You go to the next level if you can make it. Or you go home, motherfucker.
It's a fucking.
You don't live. You don't stay stagnant for 30 fucking years and brag about it like these fucking dummies do. That's why you got a dummy like Nancy Pelosi put on a dashiki and bowing and shit because she's disconnected. She doesn't know real people, man. Fuck these motherfuckers. That's why a dummy like Marjorie Taylor Greene gets in, because unfortunately she does kind of know things about real people. But that's it.
And I'm sorry if this sounds like ageism, but there's there's a limit on the youth of running for main political office
for a reason.
There should be a cap. As
Yeah,
well.
probably.
If at this point in our existence, every single person that's serving at some level of government was an adult when John Kennedy was assassinated, we're fucked. And that's exactly where we were. We are.
Here we are.
Biden, Pelosi,
Biden
Trump.
wins, but yeah, Biden had to be pulled out of the Senate. He'd still be there if he didn't get pulled up from Barack. Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He'd be senator for life. There'd be no doubt about that.
And that's a fucking problem.
I did hear a radio host tell Trump that he should run for House in Florida.
Go back.
That way they could make him Speaker of the House when
Speaker
they take
of the
the House in 22.
He'll do it.
He says it's not a bad idea.
He didn't dismiss it outright.
He won't do it. He won't do it.
Last president to get elected to the House after they were president?
John Quincy Adams.
Very good, Jason. You were a Renaissance man.
So he left presidency and just went and did something. He demoted himself.
Well, no, he got
Yeah.
he got housed, and then he ran for the House of Representatives, represented Massachusetts. Do you know that he would introduce and insist on a debate and a vote on a legislation banning slavery every single year he was in the House of Representatives after he was president of the United States?
Really?
True story.
That's interesting.
Like,
he was a lonely voice in there, but he pushed for it anyway.
No, seriously. What the hell would you do in your day when you were on your side and Nancy Pelosi and who the fuck was the other one puts on dashikis and starts doing fucking African tribal shit in the middle of chamber? Like what possesses somebody to do that? Well, how stupid is that? That's just out of touch rich people running shit thinking that's what we want to see, right?
But here's the secondary part of that, which is if you put on a dashiki and did that, what would be the first thing that happened to you?
Get laughed at.
Laughed at, yeah, but then people would accuse you of culturally appropriating and
that's exactly what they did.
Cancel the fuck out of you. How's this woman never been canceled for that?
I don't know. It's weird. I did hear Todd Gurley, like Nancy Pelosi is from Baltimore and he wants to come back. Todd Gurley's been talking about race.
God.
And he's from Baltimore.
He's impressed that her corrupt father ran that city and then her corrupt brother ran that city.
Exactly. She ought to just come back and run her old ass for mayor, man. Is that all right? That didn't interrupt our shit, did it? Okay, good. Because it was not smooth at all. It looked horrifying. No, he just knocked the cheap laptop we got off the table, and I thought our whole production went to shit.
Nope.
But he didn't react, so
wasn't even on.
Good. Oh, we got songs of the week. Who wants to start?
So okay. So obviously this late night. What any honorable mentions that we didn't discuss? Just curiosity.
Just mine was Arsenio. That was the only one I had.
I should have had Arsenio number 4. Or I should have had Arsenio 4. I don't fucking know. I do it wrong every week.
Letterman number 1. Leno off the list. I got one that I wanted to throw out there because it's an oddball that no one's ever really going to get. I imagine you can find clips of it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Alan Thicke.
Really?
Thick of the night.
Thick of the night.
I remember the
I loved that show.
Really? It's Canadian. I bet it was good.
It was just
His kid was a little kid back then.
It was that's back when Robin was like a kid.
Yeah, before he was. I'm sorry, that song Blurred Line. Is that what it was called?
Marvin Gaye song.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm sorry. I don't care. It was such a good song. It had that little bit of beat to it. But overall, it was a good goddamn song. I remember the year was 2014. I remember every time I heard it, I was like, this is a good goddamn. And then Emily Ratajkowski, the hottest white lady on the planet. She is my pick for hottest white lady on the planet.
Really?
Yeah, Emily Ratajkowski's just a goddamn vision.
I mean, she's hot, but
beautiful woman.
Is that just? It's ridiculous. One for Jay Shar with an H on YouTube. I don't know what I did. I don't know. It'd be a battle. Anyway, who wants to go first with their song?
Well, this late night thing was a bust, man. I was expecting a little bit more violence than this. God,
I don't know. I really didn't see it coming once you all started making out over.
I was talking pre-show. I said I know he's going to have Letterman at 1, and he's going to flip out. But well, I mean, I can't argue with that, except for the Jay Leno. That's just, but he's already admitted that. So
that was an abomination.
Mel, did you watch Lance Lynn bullies the Orioles video I sent you?
Yes.
How goddamn funny was that when he said, "Fuck, fucking slap dick motherfucker," read his lips perfect. And then this guy, so we looked at his channel, he loves Lance Lynn to the point where he just does him decimate like good hitters and shit. I'm like, this guy's funny, man. He's a super fan. He's a Lance Lynn super fan.
That's a board stream.
God, it's good.
Yeah, for sure.
Slap dick motherfucker.
He struck him out with a high fastball and he's walking off the mound. Yeah, slap dick motherfucker.
Read his lips. And that dude is he's funny, man. His little quips were funny. Yeah. All right.
Can he call somebody a fucking pussy at the end too?
Yeah, probably.
Struck somebody out at the end of the video. Said, fucking pussy.
You can read his lips.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first with their song, man?
I'll go this week.
All right, what you got? You said you got yours loaded, right? Or
No,
you got
mine.
You did?
Yeah, just look it up on YouTube.
Okay, go ahead. What you got?
This week for me, it's DOS Effects. They want
that's
effects.
right.
Oh.
1993.
That was it was 92 actually because it was my senior week.
92. You're right.
Yeah, it was my
92.
senior week. We were riding around senior week, and I remember it was just on. I had the single. I did have the single, just so we all know.
That's not the version. That's not it.
What are you talking about?
That's not the version. That is not the version of that song.
He's still recovering from Leno.
Yeah, there's two different versions then. You're right. This is the only one I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But I didn't see. It was okay.
No.
You have to get mad.
Not what I like.
He had a temper tantrum, man. He's going to come over here and stab me or something. I was like, all right, man. They gave a birth to this shit. Like, when you hear Wiggity anything, it's these motherfuckers.
Yeah, man.
It did Crisscross. They born Crisscross with all that shit.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Did they do much after this? It was one, you know.
This was the big album.
It was.
Yeah.
I just remember realizing I don't like beer that much when I was listening. Wish it tasted like soda. Anyway. Nice. I haven't heard they want effects in a while. What you got, Mel? I got it right here. You want to hit a introduction?
Here's the long and short of it, which is I found out that ODB did a cover of Susudio.
Yeah.
Only to find out that there's an entire album of R&B and hip hop stars who did Phil Collins cover songs.
No,
and that took me down the Genesis path. And I thought that this song is one that more people need to listen to and think about a little bit more. And that's Land of Confusion.
Are you sure it's not the Ronald Reagan puppet at the beginning with Nancy and all that shit?
It is.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And it's well worth listening to the whole goddamn thing.
Yeah, I like Invisible Touch.
But
Good
I mean,
song.
basically it was in 86. You got to think we're sort of in this very chaotic period where we might have finally beaten the Soviets. We may not have. Nuclear war is still always a possibility. A lot of bizarre military actions are going on around the world. And so you have this sort of feeling of international insecurity. But rather than that, I think now we have this level of national insecurity that we need to look at. So song is still relevant, still worth listening to.
Yeah, I noticed that about, like, you listen to, I always noticed it with like a gangster rap, and people are like, God, how did they make that music? And I'm like, well, they couldn't make it, but what happened? When you hear like the Ice Cube militant songs of like 91, 92, it's all still happening. It's been 30 fucking years and nothing's really changed. You know, it's just all the same story.
Has anything changed from Fuck the Police?
As far as the narrative, no. Just the people, just the cast.
Just the cast.
That's it. All right. Took a less serious note. No, I actually saw a killer remix featuring Jack Harlow and 4 Day. It's by Eminem. And I'm like, oh, I always listen to an Eminem song, and I enjoyed the shit out of it. It's his pupils, I guess. And of course, he lets them flow, and then he comes on at the end and shows them how Eminem does it. But I like his little beats. It's a nice little beat. It made me bob my head. I've listened to it a couple times. It's called Killer. Yeah. I like this kid Jack Harlow and Corday, whatever the fuck they end up doing. But I find out find out Joyner Lucas is also an Eminem. You know what I mean? It's like he finds good ones, man. Because I do enjoy Joyner Lucas.
I used to rock a headphones around my
So Lucas Joyner or Joyner
Lucas?
Joyner Lucas.
Okay, thank you.
Joyner, yeah.
That's some old man shit you really fucked up.
Austin got me on it last week.
It's
I
hard,
called him
man.
Lucas Joyner. He goes, "Oh, Dad, it's Joyner Lucas."
Yeah. Shawn Michaels shout out. Come on, man.
Nice.
I like the beat.
It's always Eminem has good beats, man. Whoever's beat guy is. Beats sell it. Sorry. Beats sell every rap song. He's a bitch bagger, not a Twitch streamer. I like that kid. Anyway. Check it out. I guess it was new because it
I might
showed
make
up
a
on my...
playlist on the way home.
Yeah, why not? Let me send it
I-
to you. I already did. Oh, I didn't, did I?
No, send it to me.
Oh.
My only beef with Eminem is his freestyle is a little labored sometimes, and he did one on Trump, which the lyrics are fine, but it was how winded he was.
Yes. Did you know that Chris D'Elia busted his balls? He did in a car ride to the store one day. He just did Eminem like he was doing that. He was doing all that shit just as a joke, and he posted it. And people liked it enough where he would do a few, and then Eminem fucking shouted out to like he liked it, and he was completely making fun of. But it was that shit, the very labored style he does.
Right.
It was fucking hilarious. But Eminem, I think, reached out, and I was like, what a fucking win that was, because he was just fucking off.
Yeah, and
I
then
think he's a scumbag. They think he is.
No, I don't.
You know,
Oh, you mean Chris D'Elia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I believe that.
Oh, for sure.
He's so fucking funny. It's a shame.
Yeah. Who thought Louis C.K. was going to be jerking off on everybody?
He wasn't, though. He wasn't jerking off on
jerking
anybody.
off on himself while people watched.
He told him he was going to do it, and they laughed and said, okay. And then they told on him 10 years later. Like, why don't you tell him when it happened?
Or just jerk off while you're by yourself.
Yeah, that too.
Let me
But he did
play
tell him.
devil's advocate on this one for a second.
Yeah.
If I was at your place and we're just sitting there chilling, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna jerk off while we watch this Orioles game. You good with that? And before you even say yes or no, I got my dick out and I'm just working it.
Oh, they didn't really get the answer?
Who are you gonna tell?
Yeah, that's true. No, and honestly, if it's dudes, you're just like, you got to fucking go, and it ends up being a fight with the guy's dick out. That's
it's like the video you said. It's like the video you said this week with that
scenario was going to go in my head.
Oh, the fat dude. I honestly just thought it was going to be the woman in the dress and the butt, but god damn, when the fat dude fell down and his pants fell down, I was so happy.
I was waiting for that because I was sure it was going to happen.
I didn't see it coming. God damn, that was great. What a finisher.
But that's my point, which is, if you've never been in a situation where you're just like, something happens and you don't believe it happened for a long time after it happened, then you just haven't lived. Yeah, and so some dude asking if he could jerk off. I mean, how he's the only guy I've ever heard doing this, so I don't know if it's that common, but if I don't even know if I could have gotten no out in enough time, but at some point I would have said, man, put that shit away.
True. I don't know what guy is going to go to that level and just whips it out and asks for a single. I mean, if you're going to go to that level, you're going for at least a triple.
I mean, seriously. Hey, while I've got it out,
he's not even getting hit a single. He's hitting a sack bunt.
I mean,
that is a strange thing. God damn it. I like defending Louis till right now. Because all I ever heard was he said he's going to do it, and they were like, all right. I was like, that's a
funny comedian. But
see, I thought the all right part was weird, not the comedian say he was going to do it.
I get it, but I mean, just imagine if you were in those shoes. It's like,
yeah, no, it's not happening. It'd be like,
he'd literally have to have his dick out before I believed he was going to do it.
Yeah, and I don't know. Again, I wasn't there because I don't know. I wasn't there.
You don't fucking know. See,
well, it's not like I'm
gonna practice this all week. I don't fucking know. IDFK. That is what's that mean? Don't worry about it. I don't fucking know.
T-shirt.
And then you can just shrug it off. What's that mean? I don't fucking know.
I don't fucking know.
There you go. See?
That's a gimmick T-shirt. There you go.
Yeah, it is.
Copyright B.A.F.
There's a motivated person that might listen to this. It's just going to.
No way.
Just
We
motivate
can have that up on Cafe
Do it.
Press tomorrow.
Okay. IDFK. Practice.
You got to do like a pocket. You got to do like a pocket logo of the show and then IDFK on the back.
That's it.
There you go.
There you go. Cool.
I
like
might
that
actually
idea.
go do it and then
Send
If
us an
this vid-
email if you
Let's
want a
do it.
T-shirt at BAFMMJ@gmail.com.
Damn right. Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Oh yeah, BAF.
it's about time we get some
MMJ
merch
at
out
Gmail.
because we had another. Oh, I'm sorry. What'd you say the email address was?
Oh, BAFMMJ@gmail.com. It's easy to
Oh.
remember.
I thought it
They
was
had an old one that's
BAFMMJ@gmail.com.
Oh, you're right. It is BAFMMJ@gmail.com.
That's it.
We got it. So if you want to write in any of you, it'd be great. Did we get any letters this week?
You know what? I haven't even had time to even look at that. I'm
Let me
sorry.
check. See how far behind you are. Hopefully we do.
Hopefully there's a whole list.
So
of
Mel
them.
can scold you.
I'm disappointed. I figured at least Tyler would give you a shout out defending you on some bullshit point you made
Oh,
last
we did
week.
hear about Scorchy. You want to give the Scorchy update?
Yeah, Scorchy's
Oh.
not a racist. Scorchy Talls is not a racist.
God damn.
According to
So it is a
his grandson-
beautiful
his
day on
grandson listed
Delmarva.
last week. He was on a job site with me this week, and he just walked up to me and he said, "By the way, my grandfather was not racist," and that's all he said. He loves the show though, so shout
You know
out
what?
to Matt.
I need to know, Matt. Thank you very much. I needed to know that Scorchy Talls was right. Because it's got to be a beautiful day on Delmarva, and that man knew it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Damn right.
What we got?
I don't have it. I have the old one. You got to pull it up. You got to do some work.
God damn.
I don't think we got any.
Yeah.
This
How do you like? And now with
professional
Zoom, you get
production
to-
work we got going on
And
here.
that was Zoom. You get to watch us fumble through it as well. You just
Email
have
us
to
to
just
tell
hear-
us how fucking fluffy we are.
and it's just going to say nobody reached out to us. So.
No emails this week.
Imagine that.
Come on, people.
Yeah, we got 2 people that like to talk to us occasionally.
Well, we can always count on Aunt Carol tomorrow. So
There we
That's
go.
true. And Carol, is in,
honestly,
I
that gets me
guess.
through the
Unless
week. That
she
gets me through the
talks.
weekend. I don't give a shit about anything else.
I
Really?
look forward to it.
God damn it. I wonder if she ever saw the Beatles live somehow. 'Cause she was that kid at the store buying the records
Well,
original.
she'll answer that question.
All right. Hey,
tomorrow
Aunt
morning.
Carol, did you ever see the Beatles live? Answer me in a text message tomorrow morning. All right. Y'all
Make
done.
that part
I'm
of the show
done.
I'm ready.
review.
Exactly. I'm done. You done, Mel, for next week?
Yeah,
Next week?
let's stick a fork in it.
Episode 30.
Was it really?
Yeah.
30 in a row, too.
30 in a row.
That's weak.
Jesus Christ.
We made it.
30 weeks.
We ate up most of the pandemic with it. Right?
Yeah, I mean, we had a good chunk of it. 7 months, 8 months. Yeah, 7.5 months.
Hope we don't get mouth pops.
Yeah, I hope. No mouse pots.
All right. All right, Mel. Thank you very much, sir. We'll see you then. We'll
Thank
talk to you next week.
Next week, guys.
Oh, we
All
want
right,
to
guys.
do. We're setting Monopoly for July, by the way. A hard July, if that's doable.
Yeah,
No.
we'll have to talk about it. We'll have to
Okay.
talk about a date offline.
All right. Let's kill this so we can talk Monopoly.
See you guys.
Later.
All right, later.
All right.